Good morning, students. Let us continue with the lesson Physical Features of India. In this lesson, we are dealing with the major physiographic divisions. Isn't it? We had already learnt about the northern mountains. We have learnt about the northern plains. And today, in this video, we are going to learn about the peninsular plateau region. Is that clear? We have learnt about the Himalayas, the northern plains. Today in this video we are going to learn about the peninsular plateau. Students, I would like to ask one question. What do you mean by peninsula? Yes, peninsula means a land mass which is covered by water by three sides. Look at this image, students. You can see the land mass which is covered by water by three sides. Peninsular India is bordered by the Arabian Sea, the Indian Ocean and the Bay of Bengal. Students, in this image you can see Arabian Sea towards the west, Bay of Bengal towards the east, and towards the south we have the Indian Ocean. Okay, so peninsular plateau region is bordered by the Arabian Sea towards the west, Bay of Bengal towards the east and Indian Ocean towards the south. Okay, hence it is called as peninsula. I hope it is clear. Peninsular plateau region is a tableland. What do you mean by tableland? Yes, plain land on top. A tableland composed of the old crystalline igneous. How will igneous rocks form, students? Yes, due to the volcanic eruptions. Okay, under very high temperature and then they got cooled down. So, the peninsular plateau region is a tableland. Okay, plain land on the top, and it is composed of the old crystalline igneous and metamorphic rocks. You can see the image here. You can see the tableland, right? The plain land on the top. I hope it is seen here, students. You can see the plain land on the top, right? It is made up of igneous as well as metamorphic rocks. I hope it is clear, students. Peninsular plateau region is formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land, thus making it a part of the oldest landmass. Students, I had already explained about this, right? The peninsular plateau region, how it was formed. Yes, it was formed due to the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land. Here in this image, you can see the Gondwana land. I had already explained to you about this. So the breaking and drifting of the Gondwana land led to the formation of the peninsular plateau region, thus making it a part of the oldest landmass. This I had already explained to you, students. I hope you remember. The peninsular plateau has broad and shallow valleys. Valleys are the low-lying areas between the hills and mountains. So the peninsular plateau has broad and shallow valleys. Shallow means not deep. So here in this image you can see the peninsular plateau. Okay, they have got broad and shallow valleys as well as rounded hills. Here you can see the image of rounded hills. Rounded hills are curved in shape. Okay, they don't have any points or sharp edges. They don't have any points or sharp edges. They are curved in shape like this. So I hope it is clear, students. Two broad divisions of peninsular plateau. Peninsular plateau is divided into two divisions. One is Central Highlands and the other one is Deccan Plateau. Here in this image, you can see the peninsular plateau region is divided into two divisions. One is the Central Highlands and the another one is the Deccan Plateau. Okay, we will be learning this in detail. Here in this map, you can see river Narmada, right? You need to remember this, students. It may be asked for map plotting as well. Now, why is this river Narmada important? Because river Narmada divides the peninsula plateau into two regions. Can you see, students? One is Central Highlands and the another one is Deccan Plateau. Here, this is the Narmada river. Okay. This part is the Central Highlands and this part is the Deccan Plateau. Is that clear, students? The part of the peninsular plateau lying on the north of the Narmada river. Just now I have shown you the part to the north of river Narmada is Central Highlands, and to the south of river Narmada we have Deccan Plateau. You need to remember this, students. The part of the peninsula plateau lying on the north of the Narmada river, covering a major area of the Malwa Plateau, is known as the Central Highlands. Students, here on this map, you can see the Malwa Plateau. Okay. Central Highlands cover major area of the Malwa Plateau. First of all, we have learned that Central Highland is to the north of the Narmada river, isn't it? We have seen. Here you can see the river Narmada as well. Okay, and Central Highlands cover the major area of the Malwa Plateau. I hope it is clear, students. The Vindhyan range is bounded by the Central Highlands on the south and the Aravallis on the northwest. So here you can see the Vindhyas. Can you see, students, Vindhyas? So Vindhyas are to the south of the Central Highlands, and towards the northwest we have Aravallis. Okay, Aravallis is in Rajasthan. I hope it is clear, students. Once again, the Vindhyan range is bounded by the Central Highlands on the south and the Aravallis on the northwest. Just now we have seen, right? The further westward extension gradually merges with the sandy and rocky desert of Rajasthan. Look at this map, students. You will understand. Towards the westward, okay, the Central Highlands merges with the rocky and sandy desert of Rajasthan. Here you can see the image of the desert. Rivers such as the Chambal, the Sindh, the Betwa and the Ken flow southwest to northeast. So all these rivers, okay, they flow from southwest to northeast, thus indicating the slope. That means the Central Highland slopes towards the eastern part, okay, towards the east. Students, here on this map you can see the river Chambal, Sindh, Betwa and Ken. Here is the river Chambal, here is the river Sindh, here Betwa and here is the river Ken. Once again, here is the river Chambal, Sindh, Betwa and Ken. All these rivers, they flow from southwest towards northeast. Is that clear, students? The Central Highlands are wider in the west but narrower in the east. It is very clear, students, that the Central Highlands are wider in the western part and narrower in the eastern part. Is that clear? The eastward extension of this plateau are locally known as the Bundelkhand and Bagelkhand. Have a look over here, students. You can see the Bundelkhand here and here is the Bagelkhand. Okay. The eastward extension of this plateau are locally known as the Bundelkhand and Bagelkhand. the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Students, here you can see the Chota Nagpur Plateau, this part. The Chota Nagpur Plateau marks the further eastward extension drained by the Damodar River. So here you can see the Chota Nagpur Plateau, and here you can see the river Damodar. Students, once again I'll explain. The eastward extension of this plateau are locally known as the Bundelkhand and Bagelkhand. Here you can see the Bundelkhand, Bagelkhand, and further eastward we have the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Is that clear, students? Here you can see the image of Chota Nagpur Plateau. Now we are going to learn about the Deccan Plateau. Till now we have learnt about the Central Highlands. Okay, now we are going to learn about the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau is a triangular land mass that lies to the south of the river Narmada. I had already explained this to you, students, isn't it? The part of the peninsular plateau that lies towards the south of the Narmada river is said to be Deccan Plateau. Here you can see the Deccan Plateau. Okay, it lies to the south of the Narmada river. I hope it is clear. The Satpura range flanks its broad base in the north, while the Mahadev, the Kaimur Hills and the Michael range form its eastern extensions. So it is very clear, students. Towards the north of Deccan Plateau we have the Satpura range, and towards the east we have Mahadev, Michael and Kaimur Hills. Have a look over here, students. You can see the Satpuras towards the north of Deccan Plateau. Here you can see the Michael Hills, here the Mahadev Hills and the Kaimur Hills. So towards the east of the Deccan Plateau we have Kaimur Hills, Mahadev Hills and Michael Hills. Okay. The Deccan Plateau is higher in the west and slopes gently eastwards. So the Deccan Plateau is higher in the western part and it slopes eastwards. Okay. An extension of the plateau is also visible in the northeastern part of our country, locally known as Meghalaya, Karbi Anglong Plateau and North Kachar Hills. Have a look over here, students. Deccan Plateau is also found in the northeastern part of our country. Here you can see the Karbi Anglong as well as the North Kachar Hills. Is that clear, students? Now you will ask how they got separated then. The answer, it is separated by a fault. Students, do you remember fault? I had explained you faulting. Have a look over here. Yes, the two plates moving away from each other. Okay, do you remember this? Fault occurs, faulting takes place, isn't it? So due to this process, what happened? It got separated. It is separated by a fault from the Chota Nagpur Plateau. So this part got separated by a fault from the Chota Nagpur Plateau. I hope it is clear, students. Three prominent hill ranges from the west to east are the Garo, the Khasi and the Jaintia Hills. Look at this map, students, you will understand. Here towards the northeastern part we have the Garo, Khasi and Jaintia Hills. Okay. Here it is more clear. Garo Hills, Khasi Hills and Jaintia Hills. Is that clear, students? These are also the part of Deccan Plateau. I hope it is clear. Let us do the recap now. Students, we have learnt about the Peninsular Plateau, right? And its division. That is the Central Highlands and the Deccan Plateau. Few more subtopics we need to cover under Peninsular Plateau. Okay, we will be doing that in our next video. I want you all to read the textbook thoroughly and go through the topics once again. Meet you in the next video. Till then, bye and take care.